Hello everyone, so my last video was 2 weeks ago, so I do apologise for the delay. So today I thought I'd do some short movie reviews as well as my pickups in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to start off with Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs from 1991. This is an absolutely brilliant movie. I mean, you have the elements of horror, comedy, action, it's all in there, The people who play the parents are absolutely batshit crazy, he does stand along with his best, like obviously Scream, Now and Elm Street, Last House on the Left. Of course, in the 90s there was a lot of great horror movies, but it kind of like died down because 80s was kind of like the iconic decade for horror, But this one is absolutely brilliant. This is just the Arrow release, but it's got a really nice transfer, lots of special features. No Buchla, I'm afraid, but it's always worth having. It's definitely one of my favourite Wes Craven movies. So I'd definitely suggest this to anyone who hasn't seen it or who's a fan of Wes Craven in general. So that's an absolutely brilliant movie. And then I picked up the German import of I Spit on Your Grave, the original from 1978, starring Camille Keaton, directed by Miyazaki. Obviously, very controversial at the time. It still holds up as controversial now due to the graphic rape scenes. The revenge is awesome, but the rape scenes are much more graphic because it takes up half of the movie. But all around, it got slammed by critics when it came out, but all around, I think it's really realistic acting, which is what you want, especially for a rare revenge movie. The remake's also brilliant. I love the remake, but this is virtually the Anchor Bay release, just without the special features, just as a trailer. But it has master audio and a beautiful picture, and it's fully uncut, which this is the reason I bought it. Because the Anchor Bay release goes for a lot more in America on Blu-ray or DVD. So this was £12.50, and it's got a reverse cover as well. But this is definitely worth picking up. If anyone's a fan of this movie or haven't seen it, I suggest tracking in the German import. I think mine was £12.90 or something like that, brand new. But yeah, it's of course it's a controversial classic, and if you're heavily into horror like I am, it's just one of those movies you have to check out. But I loved it, of course. And then I also picked up one of my favourite slashers from the 80s. My Bloody Valentine from 1981. This is a Spanish import. I got this on Facebook Marketplace for £8.50. You only get the trailer, but it's fully uncut, beautiful transfer and master audio. Of course, I could have obviously. I don't have a region free player. That's something I needed to invest in the future, but if I was going to pick up the Scream Factory edition, I'd be paying like $60-70, which is like £50, £40-50 over here. But I'd obviously pay that if I had a region free player, but this is region free for anyone who's wanting. You can get it on Amazon for about £20. This guy was just selling some of his collection for dirt cheap, so I picked it up for £8.50. It's definitely, and of course, whoever hasn't seen it is heavily into slashers. This is definitely one of the very best. Absolutely brutal kills and a great story as well. And easily one of my favourite slasher icons. It's definitely underrated. I went to my friend just have a drink the other week, and then I picked up Martyrs, which is a French extreme movie. Absolutely brilliant. I've seen it before. It's definitely a nut kicker. It's not it's not a family friendly movie. But if you're into your foreign movies or extreme movies like your High Tension or this or just anything controversial, anything. But the French extreme movie like Frontiers, that's another great French extreme movie. But if I was to rate the best one, it's probably Martyrs, because it's just the story behind it. It's just a matter of all about power and how people can just take over no matter what. And revenge as well, especially at the beginning, which is quite an impactful scene where the with a girl. She kills this family who tortured her when she was little. But it's the thing what grabbed me the most was the last half hour, which is just like pure torture for this lady. But it's I mean, it's not an arse movie, you know. It's one of them movies you could maybe watch once every year or once or twice, just in general, because it's not one of them. It's not really a feel good movie, but it's a fantastic piece of filmmaking, and I definitely recommend it to anyone who's into their extreme horrors. I picked up Gaspar Noé's Irreversible. Not the Indicator release. I mean, that's a beautiful release because you get the theatrical cut and a straight cut, which is because the movie's played back to front, and then the other cut just play from the beginning straight to the end. But this plays from the original theatrical cut, plays from the end to the beginning. But I feel like the original is more impactful because you see how devastating the movie is from the beginning to a kind of like peaceful it gets at the beginning, you know, before everything kind of kicks off. So it's very very creative. I mean, again, another nut kicker. It's not a nice movie, but it's got a meaning. It's got a point. You know, I mean, it's very the first half I was very dizzy, and it's kind of like, geez, you know, a lot of camera spins, you know, a lot of strobe lights. Of course, this movie is controversial for two reasons. It's got the head crushing scene with a fire extinguisher, which is not nice, but great effects. This is the accent release. This was £10, I think, but like I say, it's got a really nice transfer and special features. And of course, second reason why it's controversial is the 10-minute rape scene of Monica Bellucci, which is not nice, of course. I mean, no rape scene is nice, but this one's more of probably the most realistic rape scene in the movie. But once you get past those two scenes, it's a very well made movie, and I definitely recommend it. I mean, I absolutely loved Gaspar Noé's climax. This one, the Arrow release. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I still need to check I Stand Alone and Enter the Void, and Love as well. Yeah. But the obviously these two are the most probably important ones. But I was glad to pick this up for so cheap. You know, with tenner, can't really go wrong there. So then was it yesterday? The day before? I picked up two 101 releases, which were £10 each as they're on offer in HMV. So this is Skinner, starring Tracy Lords, Ted Raimi and Ricky Lake. From the names on the thing, you'd think it'd be like really cheesy, but he's quite a dark, gritty, independent slasher with some awesome effects, especially like the skinning parts, because obviously Ted Raimi is the serial killer. Tracy Lords, of course, is the 80s porn star, of course, you know, but this was 1993, which was kind of like definitely not a thing for slasher. I mean, I would say for slasher movies in the 90s, I mean, you think of Candyman, that's 1992, and then Scream reinvented everything, 96. But this is a really nice set. It's only like an hour and 25, but the acting's great all round. I really enjoyed this one, actually. This comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD. Really nice booklet, which has a lot of information about this was scanned in 4K, because I mean the original DVD release was very grainy. I didn't own it myself, but I read about it. I read about it through this booklet, which is also really interesting information. So definitely pick that up, especially with it on offer as well. I mean, I don't have much from 101, but I do have some really nice releases. I mean, I've got 3 this week, so... Oh, wait a minute. I forgot 2 more. I may as well show you my 101 releases all together. So that was Skinner, Alien Nation, what I watched last night, starring James Caan. I thought it would have been really, really cheesy. I mean, but it was actually like quite fast paced. Some comedy moments, like a buddy cop movie. Awesome performance by Mandy Patinkin. It's but yeah, I mean it's late 80s, 88. You know, I mean it's got some really nice action in as well. So I definitely recommend that. The one I haven't watched yet, but this is Into the Night with Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Pfeiffer, 101 again. So you get the poster in Alien Nation, by the way, and the reverse sleeve poster, Blu-ray, DVD. I haven't seen this one yet, but it's been recommended by some friends of mine. This is of course a thriller about a man who's looking for love, romance, but ends up meeting someone who's kind of like, I guess, in near death, you know, kind of like turns his life around. And there's tons of cameos in this one. Dan Aykroyd, David Cronenberg, David Bowie. You know, it's crazy, especially getting all those in one movie. Directed by John Landis, of course. American Werewolf in London, Animal House. You know. But I'm looking forward to checking that out. And then this one, this was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love this one. Watched it yesterday, The New Kids, 1985, directed by Sean S. Cunningham, who directed, of course, the original Friday the 13th, and was co-director with Wes Craven in The Last House on the Left. This has your standard blue, but it has a really nice booklet as well. These 101 editions are really cool. And I know they're bringing out Linda Blair's Hell House. Sorry, not Hell House, Hell Night. I do apologise. In July, which I'm going to pick up. This stars a young James Spader. He's an absolute geet in this one. There we go. It kind of gives you that reminiscence of like, it's kind of like an R-rated Karate Kid. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, those kids who are getting picked on by a load of thugs, you know, and, you know, getting them all back. But this is kind of like, it's a lot more gritty. Like, it's, you know, it's a lot more, it was quite brutal in parts, but fantastic performances all round. This was 1985, so it's definitely one for the books if you're heavily into your 80s, fun 80s action movies. I absolutely love this one. I was so surprised by it. So I definitely recommend anyone to pick this up. I mean, get it while it's on offer. It's only £10 in HMV. Another 101, which I picked up today, Jeepers Creepers, which of course is directed by Victor Salva. I mean, it's very controversial due to what happened in his first feature, Clown House, which he obviously got done for something not very nice, but it's just a matter of collecting as I'm a horror collector. I mean, it is a really good movie. I enjoy Jeepers Creepers 2. I haven't seen any past that. This is a nice restoration, which I checked out before. Tons of special features, bonus disc, special features. So I may watch this one tonight. It's just a fun watch, you know. I mean, if you ignore everything when I went on with the director, you kind of just focus on the movie. You know, it's for early 2000s, it's a quite decent horror movie. You know, it's one of them fun popcorn flicks and creepy in parts. And then I picked up for £4 in HMV today, 12 Angry Men, one of my all-time favourites from 1957, starring Henry Fonda. Fantastic courtroom drama. Probably the very best one. And Lee Jacobs fantastic in this. It's definitely one for any movie buff, not just horror. Because I mean, it just seemed like I do collect just horror, but I have so many more movies what are not horror. And this is easily one of my favourites. I only actually checked this out about a year or two ago. I have it on DVD, but I just thought I'd upgrade to Blue, considering it was only £4, so that's pretty cheap. Some nice special features on this one. Yeah, so it's just all round classic. You know, it's just one of them movies you have to check out, no matter what style of movies you like or anything. It's just one of those classics. And then finally got into my collection for £20 from Games and More in Wigan, which is a shop I highly recommend as I go in there a lot. The fella Tony who owns the store is brilliant, down to earth, witty, you know, always does great prices, great sales. It's got tons of stuff in: records, Blu-rays, DVDs, retro games, retro consoles, magazines, comics, CDs. So it's kind of, I mean, it seems like a lot, but he seems to face so many great things in his store, even though it's not a huge store, but it's just, you know, it's big enough. So I picked this up. I've been eyeing it up for, I don't know why I've been eyeing it up for so long, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but I finally picked it up for £20. I know you can get the re-release of The Second Start for around £27, or the limited edition for £60-70, which I wasn't really paying. I love the movie, but obviously, of course, I'm a bargain hunter, so this was kind of a no-brainer. And I absolutely love the Arrow release. It's just something I've always wanted in my collection. So you have the theatrical release on Blu-ray, which of course is a great transfer, everything fully uncut. Director's cut and the Argento cut. I haven't checked out the Argento cut. I have watched the director's cut before in the past. I mean, it's already a 2 hours and 7-minute movie, so it's quite you know, it's quite lengthy. And then obviously the director's cut's about 15 minutes longer. I think the Argento cut's quite short, so I think Argento quite kind of liked cut all the not boring bits, but you know, like the talking bits, and just kind of focused on all the action. You know, just crammed it all into one version, which is cool. So I'm looking forward to checking out the Argento cut at some point. And then I've got you get the poster. That's the original movie poster. That's the alternative artwork. Everything's in really lovely condition. I mean, of course the DVDs have a few little surface marks, but nothing to brag about. I mean, I have OCD, and normally I'd turn it down, but it's nothing to really bother about. You know, Blu-ray's in mint condition. Poster is the booklet. Forever Now There Is a Dawn. So everything comes intact. Everything's there. Nothing's ripped. You know, there's a bit of creasing in the actual window sleeve, but again, for £20 and something what's been out of print for years, you can hardly even get it brand new anymore. Only if you wanted it brand new, you'd be paying £45 to £50. So yeah, I'm very, very happy to have this in my collection finally, because I've been wanting it for years, and since The Second Start came out, it's gone down in price, and this was like £40 in places like CX, which I wasn't really bothered about paying. So £20, absolute bargain. So that's my haul for 2 weeks. I will be doing more videos and music reviews, because I know a lot of people have requested it. But yeah, I need to start doing more as the days go on. So the next one maybe might be a music review. But I really hope you enjoyed this one. I hope I've interested you in some of the movies I've shown. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you for spending your time listening to me ramble on about movies. So thank you very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.